Welcome to ART, November 9th, 2020. Let's start with a thinking question. What is one thing that you already know about biomes or habitats? You can use the sentence stem. One thing I know about biomes or habitats is blank. Ms. Wilson is going to give you 10 seconds to think about your answer. Go. Make sure you have that thinking face on. Great job, scholars. During virtual art class, I will watch all videos, focus on the lesson, think through questions from Ms. Wilson, and engage in the activity. Today's agenda. We already started with our opening thinking question. Then we will move on to listening and learning with our read aloud, followed by our teacher-led activity, How the World Works, Rainforest. That's our step-by-step drawing lesson, followed by independent practice where you will finish creating your art to Ms. Wilson's art expectations, followed by some reminders. Let's get started. Our objective. I can learn about animals from different biomes and how to draw from them. Purpose. To be able to draw animals from all over the world. Our second objective. I can use visual and context clues to learn art vocabulary. Purpose, to learn new words in English in a different classroom. We're starting our new IB unit. Remember we finished our reflections from Unit 2 last week. So this unit is our How the World Works unit. Our central idea is patterns and cycles in the natural world promote adaptation. We will be working on the learner profile balanced, as well as the elements of art of color and the principle of design proportion. Some vocabulary that you're going to hear today. Biome, a large region of Earth that has a certain climate and certain types of living things. Rainforest, very high annual rainfall, high average temperatures, nutrient-poor soil, and high levels of biodiversity or species richness. Remember, for my Spanish as a first language friends, you can look at the vocabulary word in green to help you make that connection with the definition. Listening and learning reminders. Listen to the book or watch the clip. Be on the lookout for vocabulary words. When Ms. Wilson asks a question, pause the video and give yourself time to think. Let's get started with our read aloud. The Great Kapok Tree, A Tale of the Amazon Rainforest by Lynn Cherry. All of the green are rainforests throughout the world. In the Amazon rainforest, it is always hot, and in the heat everything grows and grows and grows. The tops of trees in the rainforest are called the canopy. The canopy is a sunny place that touches the sky. The animals that live there like lots of light. Colorful parrots fly from tree to tree. Monkeys leap from branch to branch. The bottom of the rainforest is called the understory. The animals that live in the understory like darkness. There, silent snakes curl around hanging vines, graceful jaguars watch and wait, and in the steamy environment, the great kapok tree shoots up through the forest and emerges above the canopy. This is a story of a community of animals that live in one such tree in the rainforest. Let's start with a thinking question. What other animals do you think live in the great kapok tree? You can use the sentence then, I think blank live in the great kapok tree. Miss Wilson is going to give you 10 seconds to think of your answer. If you need more time, feel free to pause the video and give yourself time to think. Let's put our thinking caps on and go. Awesome job, scholars. Here's what Miss Wilson was thinking. I think sloths live in the great kapok tree. What other answers did you come up with?
Two men walked into the rainforest. Moments before, the rainforest had been alive with the sounds of squawking birds and howling monkeys. Now all was quiet as the creatures watched the two men and wondered why they had come. The larger man stopped and pointed to the great kapok tree. Then he left. The smaller man took the axe he carried and struck the trunk of the tree. Whack, whack, whack. The sounds of the blows rang through the forest. The wood of the tree was very hard. Chop, chop, chop. The man wiped off the sweat that ran down his face and neck. Whack, chop, whack, chop. Soon the man grew tired. He sat down to rest at the foot of the great kapok tree. Before he knew it, the heat and the hum of the forest had lulled him to sleep. A boa constrictor lived in the kapok tree. He slithered down its trunk to where the man was sleeping. He looked at the gash the axe had made in the tree. Then a huge snake slid very close to the man and hissed in his ear. Senor, this tree is tree of miracles. It is my home, where generations of my ancestors have lived. Do not chop it down. A bee buzzed in the sleeping man's ear. Senors, my hive is in this kapok tree, and I fly from tree to tree and flower to flower, collecting pollen. In this way, I pollinate the trees and flowers throughout the rainforest. You see, all living things depend on one another. A troop of monkeys scampered down from the canopy of the kapok tree. They chattered to the sleeping man. Senor, we have seen the ways of man. You chop down one tree, then come back for another and another. The roots of these great trees will wither and die, and there will be nothing left to hold the earth in place. When the heavy rains come, the soil will be washed away, and the forest will become a desert. A toucan, a macaw, and a cock on the rock flew down from the canopy. Senor, squawked the toucan, you must not cut down the tree. We have flown over the rainforest and seen what happens once you begin to chop down the trees. Many people settle on the land. They set fires to clear the underbrush, and soon the forest disappears. Where once there was life and beauty, only black and smoldering ruins remain. A bright and small tree frog crawled along the edge of the leaf. In a squeaky voice, he piped in the man's ear, Senor! A ruined rainforest means ruined lives, many ruined lives. You will leave many of us homeless if you chop down this great kapok tree. A jaguar had been sleeping along a branch in the middle of the tree. Because his spotted coat blended into the dappled light and shadows of the understory, no one had noticed him. Now he leapt down and padded silently over to the sleeping man. Senor! The kapok tree is home to many birds and animals. If you cut it down, where will I find my dinner? 4 tree porcupines swung down from the branch to branch and whispered to the man, Senor, do you know what we animals and humans need in order to live? Oxygen. And Senor, do you know what trees produce? Oxygen. If you cut down the forests, you will destroy what gives us all life. Several anteaters climbed down the kapok tree with their young clinging to their backs. The unstriped anteater said to the sleeping man, Senor, you are chopping down this tree with no thought for the future, and surely you know what happens tomorrow depends upon what you do today. The big man tells you to chop down a beautiful tree. He does not think of his own children, who tomorrow must live in a world without trees. Anteater, big nose. The 3-toed sloth had begun climbing down from the canopy when the men first appeared. Only now did she reach the ground, plodding over so slowly over to the sleeping man. She spoke in her deep and lazy voice. Senor, how much is beauty worth? Can you live without it? If you destroy the beauty of the rainforest, on what would we feast our eyes? A child from the Yanomamo tribe who lived in the rainforest knelt over the sleeping man. He murmured in his ear, Senor, when you awake, please look upon us with all new eyes. The man awoke with a start. Before him stood the rainforest child, and all around him staring were the creatures who depended upon the kapok tree. What wondrous and rare animals they were. The man looked about and saw the sun streaming through the canopy. Spots of bright light glowed like jewels amidst the dark green forest. Strange and beautiful plants seemed to dangle in the air, suspended from the great kapok tree. The man smelled the fragrant perfume of their flowers. He felt the steamy mist rising from the forest floor, but he heard no sound, for the creatures were strangely silent. The man stood and picked up his axe. He swung back his arm as though to strike the tree. Suddenly, he stopped. He turned and looked at the animals and at the child. He hesitated. Then he dropped the axe and walked out of the rainforest. Dear readers, I wrote The Great Kapok Tree to let the world know what happens to the rainforest creatures and to the entire planet when rainforests are destroyed. I hope that after reading this book, you will help save the rainforests. The Great Kapok Tree is about the Amazon rainforest, a tropical rainforest. But we have a temperate rainforest in the Pacific Northwest of the United States that we must protect too.
All right, at this time,
Please
you need to
care
get your
for Mother
materials.
Earth.
You're going to
Together,
need a
we
piece
can
of
make a
paper,
difference.
a
Lynn
pencil,
Cherry.
and something to color with. Miss Wilson is going to give you 10 seconds to get those materials out.
I should see or hear you moving. And go. If you need more time than that, please pause your video. And retrieve the materials that you need. It's time to create. Remember that we follow directions. You pause the video, or if you're in front of me, you raise your hand if you need more time. We try our best. We color from corner to corner and we add details. Okay, who's ready to get their sloth on? We're going to start with an oval. And it's not very big, but you don't want it to be small either because that's his face. And then his eyes in there. Ooh, this eye is too big. Remember to think about your proportions and keeping everything looking like it fits together. We're going to add those little ovals for shine. For animals, animals always have those little ovals in them. And then you're going to color, when you do it, you're going to color everything but the oval. And that'll add that shiny look that animals have. And you can do the same thing for the nose as well. We will be coloring with crayon. I'm just doing this with my pencil just to show you exactly what I mean. Okay, and then we are going to add curved lines going out because they have almost like a mask. From each eye. Next, we are going to add an M, a capital M. Don't attach it to the head, but just above the head. And then you can add another tuft of hair. Basically like 3 mountains, if you will. And then we are going to go around the head, a curved line, stopping just under the eye. This one we're going to go all the way around, and we're going to give it some space for his neck. So farther down and then in. And you're going to want to curve under the nose. So down, larger, curved under the nose. And then we're going to add the first leg, actually. So from here, go out just a little bit, and then we're going to do an upside down U. Fairly skinny upside down U. Mine's a little too skinny, but for one of his legs. And then we're going to go across for his belly and then do it again. Now, basically you want an upside down turtle shell coming off of for his body. And you want it to land here. So they've got this really odd shaped body. So we're going to curve like a turtle shell and land here. that my neck was just a little too long. You want more of a longer here. But you know, they have just this weird shaped body. So either which dimension really does work. We're going to do a vine or a branch coming off like a curve. And you want it to be just underneath where his paw would be. And the other line to make it a full branch. Now, you're going to add little lines for bark on our branch. And then you can do these curves, almost like a spike, only a little curve. So out and back in. You want just a couple of those. I think 3 will do. But then you're going to do a leaf coming off of it. So round and up. And that teardrop kind of leaf. And awesome. Now, for the rest of our sloth, you're going to add kind of a little curve above each of these for the back leg that you can't see. Actually, I'm sorry, not for the back leg, but for the hand. The back leg is going to be back here. So you're just going to add a line and then a curve above it. And then add 3 to 4 and claws just with a zigzag line. I like to do 2 M's. And then his 4th foot, same thing, curve above, 2 M's. That one got a little too gapped. There we go. Awesome. Now you have your sloth, and you could add details like extra vines and different leaves to decorate it. So let's see how Miss Wilson decorates it in our fast forward. I can't wait to see what yours ends up looking like. All right, scholars. So in order to color your sloth, I have given you several pictures of sloths from the actual rainforest. They range from like some orangey browns into just your gray brown. And it's basically just different shades of brown. So like darker around the eyes, a little bit lighter around the forehead and cheek area. I will show you my 2 absolute favorites. This one, because it reminds me of Sloth from Zootopia, only in the different color. And you can really see the face details. And then, of course, the little one, because he is just adorable. Okay, so this is how I colored mine. And let's see what you can come up to color yours. Awesome job, scholars. So for my details, I added vines and leaves. I also did a circular pattern with my sky. And then brown coloring in different shades of brown. I am so excited. This is one of my favorite ones that I've done in a while. Finish your art. I am just obsessed with sloths right now. until you are
Let's
done with the art
have
piece.
some independent time.
Remember
and
your
our
expectations
reminders.
of no white spots and coloring from corner to corner. After you're finished, go ahead and unpause your video and we'll get to the reminders. Our reminders. When you're finished with this video, please take a picture. Hopefully we'll be able to do some portfolios soon. I would love to see your art. I have included my email address. Please send me anything you would like to say or like for me to see. And the most important reminder of them all, stay safe, wash your hands, and I miss you.